We come to the fourth step in the recovery program, steps for liberation. So we're going into the fourth step with God. God we might know a little bit better. We're doing a third step. So there's 3 inventories, and possibly we keep a piece of paper on the side for anything that may come up or doesn't quite fit into the 4 main inventories. First inventory is resentment. Might be worth saying here, something that's resent. Normally we feel anger, and we can feel anger in this step, so that also ties into I am resentful, I am angry about it. I'll give you an example, personal example. When I was a young 12 or 13 year old, I was in a classroom in a Catholic secondary school, and a priest caught me doing something I probably shouldn't have been done, and quite frankly beat the crap out of me. But, in front of all my classmates, and I carried this resentment for many years. Even getting off a bit on it, thinking about going back, and even in the school. Thankfully that didn't happen. So we put in the first column the priest. What did he do? What was the cause? I'll just explain that. I think that's clear enough. So then we go to the third column, which is the most important column. It's the most important column. Yes, that stuff went down, but it's really about how it affected me. So how did it affect, my self-esteem, who I think I am? Well, I thought I was a reasonable pupil. I would have been one of the naughtier boys, but I didn't deserve that. Personal relationships, when men or women are or should be. Now this is really good for checking the scripts, So we could quite simply put in here, priests are or should be. It's about checking the script in your head, your image of how a man or woman would be, how would a priest be, dads are or should be, mums are or should be, girlfriends are or should be. It's to check the script that's rattling around in your head. Ambitions. How did it affect my ambition? Well, as I said, I thought I was a reasonable kid. I certainly was not the best behaved. But I just was at school. I wanted to try and do my best. And this guy really beat me up. I'm 13. He was a man. I think we can work out how it might affect my ambition. Security. How did it affect my security? Well, if that happens at school, and we were in the 1960s, 70s growing up, what might happen is you might go home, and if you told your parents, it might get worse. As it happened, my dad found out years later and suggested if he had found out there would have been a different outcome. But there we go, that is what it is. Eventually, when I came into recovery, I cleaned that one up. I just forgave him. That was it. Took a bit of work. It was not easy, but I forgave him. All's good and well in my world. I don't know how he deals with how he behaves. It's none of my business. Complete, absolute forgiveness. And I forgave me for being the person. Anyway, kind of moving a little ahead, but it was worth it. That one out. So security, we've got money. Well, obviously the money thing wasn't involved. In the big book they talk about it as a pocketbook. And fear. Well, I don't know, man. If the priests are beating you up, you're not going to feel very secure in your environment. So that's the step out of work of resentment for it. There's one more column. No, the second column. Fourth column is the mistakes. What mistakes were mine? Well, some would say I got caught. Yeah. I didn't have too many mistakes in that particular resentment, you know. And then we go to the final column at the end. Name for amendsiness. Well, you know, there's a school of thinking that it's all about forgiving yourself. Well, I'd agree with that totally. It's about forgiving yourself, but you know, you have to forgive other people. Sometimes you forgive yourself and then you forgive others. But I put my name in resentment for who the amend was owed to. That other people can end up in it, and this is where you start to form your step 8 list. Okay, let's go through the fear infantry. This is all in the workbook, which is on the website, so if there's anything you want to back up or look through, it's all neatly laid out. So the fear infantry has 4 columns. There's the fear. Why do I have this fear? Did self-reliance fail? I can pretty much guarantee that you'll say self-reliance failed. And then the 4th column, what would the Creator, God, higher power, higher self, what would they have been made? In other words, you're setting up a little vision of how to get out of this fear. What you might be in the fear. So we could use fear of commitment. I know none of you would ever have this, but I had it. So I've got fear of commitment. Why do I have this fear? Because I'm scared of getting judged, I've got low self-worth. I don't want to commit, I just want to get on with things without committing to anyone or anything. Did self-reliance fail? I think we could say yeah. What would the Creator have me be, God have me be? A person who isn't fear to commit, a person who sees commitment as a thing they want to do. A person who commits easily and sticks with it. So I think you get the idea. You can run all your fears through here. We move over onto sexual infantry. Now this is an infantry that not all methods use, but there's so much to be had in here about our partners and stuff from the childhood. You know, so much got involved in abusive stuff. And my favourite piece is there's 11 columns. I'm not going to go through them down there. That's all written down online on the forms. You know, it will shake you down. What needs to go in here is at least all your partners, any other weird and wonderful sexual behaviour that you have got involved in, and then at the end, it's my favourite part, is you set up a spiritual vision for your future sex life. I set one up many years ago. You have a wholesome, healthy, decent relationship with a spiritual person who had similar characteristics. It took about 20 years to come my way. I had a lot of stuff to work through and I had a lot of things to do. Sure enough, right on cue, she showed up a couple of years ago and things are great. you've got a really good, healthy relationship, you know, enjoy similar things, it's caring, it's loving, all those nice things. So I would, again, this is a piece of vision work. I'd enjoy it, put it down there. Put it down there, what you want. Otherwise you might get it and you might not want it. So that's a really good part. There are 11 columns. I'm sure you can work it out for yourself or look at the workbook online. I just thought I'd give you a run over about that. Now, there's 1/4 sheet of paper that you can put weird and wonderful stuff on, something that isn't a resentment, a fear, or sexual thing, or maybe it's all free, or it's just another piece of paper. Odd things pop up when we do this work. This is deep work. There's no fear needs to be attached here. This is just your life. This is just a load of facts, right? And you know, the secrets will keep you sick. Bring it up. Most of it you'll let go, and you'll learn a lot to how to proceed with the rest of your life. Again, this is one of the steps I would recommend you don't start thinking about the 5th step. Let's just work the 4th step and see how the 5th step goes. You're not in the 5th step, you're in the 4th step. Get it all down, get it out. Please don't stay too long in this step. You know, it can be tough. A lot of stuff is likely to come, some people not so much. Further along you go, little, be thorough, and you'll know when you're done. That's the time to start thinking about the 5th step when you're done.